Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Lon Weeb here, back with a brand new What If, which will be a new series, probably a shorter series on the channel, probably 4 or 5 episodes. This is What If Naruto was in ReZero. If you guys don't know what ReZero is the series about Subaru Natsuki, who is basically, it's another isekai anime. However, this isekai anime is one of the most renowned and well-known of all time, where Subaru is not an OP protagonist. But what would happen if, instead of Subaru Natsuki being summoned to the ReZero world, what if a different protagonist, one named Naruto Uzumaki, was summoned to this world instead? Let's get into it. We see Naruto at Ichiraku Ramen's. He had just walked out of his house alone that night, as it had been the second day he'd been home in Konoha for a long time. As he's walking down the street to go to Ichiraku Ramen's, he's looking up at the night sky and sees stars shining across it. He looks around at the beautiful village he lives in and thinks about all the times he's had, as well as his best friend Sasuke and everything his goals and his dream to become the Hokage. As he walks into Ichiraku Ramen, picking up his ramen, and as he decides to take it out for takeout to take home, he would pick up his ramen bowl and thank Mr. Ichiraku for it, as he then walks out, pulling a flap aside. As Naruto opens the flap and walks out, suddenly Naruto would blink. As he blinks 1, 2, 3 times, suddenly the area changes. What's going on? Naruto, as well as Kurama inside of him, are confused, as suddenly Naruto is standing in the middle of the street. As he's rubbing his eyes, it's bright daylight. As he looks around, he sees all different types of people, with scales, with fur, these demi-humans almost. As Naruto sees other humans too, he notices something. He can't sense any chakra around anywhere. All chakra levels have completely disappeared, except for the chakra that's naturally in the air and plants and living things. Where the heck am I, Naruto be thinking, as he looks around, walking into different places, just as Subaru had once done in the ReZero world before. As Naruto is walking in, looking at all these places, he gets kicked out of different bars, as well as other areas that he's not supposed to be in. Inevitably, he decides to sit down and eat his ramen. As he's slurping it down, he would then notice something. He would see that 3 people are approaching him in this alley. What are these guys doing here? Naruto be thinking, as we see the 3 thugs who tried and mugged Subaru in the beginning. Hey, you got any money? They'd be thinking as they're ready to jump Naruto. Naruto would stand up as he's ready for a fight and say that he'll take all 3 of them on. The 3 of them would charge at Naruto with weapons set ablaze, and unlike in the original where Subaru had failed to defend himself, Naruto, a trained shinobi, even without using any chakra, is able to easily beat them in taijutsu, as Naruto quickly dispatches all 3 of them within seconds. Suddenly we hear rushing around a corner, as we see her, Emilia. Emilia, with her long silver and gray hair and her elf-like ears, runs into Naruto, bumping into him, saying she's sorry, and she asks if he was the one who took her insignia. Naruto would ask what she means, when suddenly we see Felt. Felt jumps over the rooftop with Naruto looking up and seeing her just as she runs away. That's some really similar technique to what we do in the Leaf Village, he'd say, as he looks at all the acrobatics that she'd use to escape. Emilia would ask if he knows who that girl is and if they are working together, with Naruto telling her he has no idea who she is and that he just found out where he is. He doesn't even know where he is right now, asking her questions about what's going on. Emilia wouldn't have time for this, though, and decided she has to go after Felt immediately, not knowing what her name is yet, of course. Naruto would offer Emilia to help her, as he has no idea what to do for now, as he needs to get back to the Leaf Village. She has no idea what this means, but assumes it's some sort of village where Naruto comes from. Naruto would agree to help her, with Puck coming out of nowhere. Wow, that's a really cute cat you got there. This is when Puck would greet Naruto, and the 2 of them would become sort of like friends. Puck would sense something within Naruto, as he can sense something, a strong aura of intent of kill. What is that, Puck would be thinking, as we see Kurama and Puck almost lock energies for a second. Anyway, Naruto and Emilia get up onto the building as they begin to hunt down Puck. Naruto would offer to help Emilia up when he steps on the side of the wall and begins climbing it. What? What is that? What kind of blessing do you have? Emilia would be asking with concern, as she's never seen such a power before. Naruto would be confused. He says that he's just using his chakra. What's chakra? Anyway, we gotta get going. He'd grab Emilia's hand as Puck goes along with him, as he would then pull Emilia and Puck up onto the rooftops, looking around Lagunica. As they're running around, Naruto has an idea. How big is the city anyway, he'd say, as we then see Emilia looking around saying she actually just got here herself. Naruto would ask what she even was looking for anyway, with him not knowing exactly what she wants, you know? Naruto would then be told about the insignia that she's after, and exactly what it looks like in its size. Naruto would nod as he says he'll do his best to help her find her insignia, or whatever that is. As they were walking through the streets, they would see a little girl crying, and Naruto, who as a child had problems on his own, would walk over and ask her if she needs any help. Naruto would be kind as he smiles, closing his eyes as his whiskers spread across his face. The girl would laugh as she pokes at Naruto's cheek, and Naruto would ask what her name is. Naruto, as well as Emilia, would take the little girl with them, as Naruto holds one of her hands while Emilia holds the other. Naruto won't be thinking anything about this at that point, as he doesn't really like Emilia like Subaru did, but he considers her a friend for now, just like everyone. As Emilia is looking over at Naruto, she blushes really quickly and looks away, as Naruto, unlike Subaru, adapts to his surroundings much quicker. Naruto would then eventually run into the lady, who she had instructed might be her mom. As the mother would find the child, Naruto would say it was no problem as he nods and walks away, a sad glint in his eyes as he sees her parent. Emilia catches this and looks at him, wondering what he must be thinking about and what must have happened to him as a child. As Emilia continues walking along, Naruto asks and says that they're probably never going to find her insignia if they keep making stops like that. Naruto says he's going to go out and look on the roof, as he would jump high, using his chakra to push him up to the top. That was an incredible jump, she'd be thinking. Puck would be thinking this too, thinking he's never seen anything like this before, ever. As Naruto continues to wander around Lagunica, he'd inevitably run into the same fruit salesman that we know very well from the original Re:Zero. Naruto doesn't know this yet because he hasn't died. However, Naruto has a rare ability known as Return by Death, or Return by Death. Naruto can die and then return to each save point. He's just made his new save point. Naruto has no idea about this yet, however. As Naruto and Emilia are searching around, eventually they would get to the slums, where they'd figure out that Felt must be someone trying to sell her insignia off for money. Naruto would claim that taking the insignia back would be a piece of cake, as he and Emilia would walk into the shop together. As they walk in, however, they would see it's dark. Emilia, Naruto would say, "Stay behind me. I can sense something." Suddenly, Naruto would pull Emilia out of the way, as a blade comes flying past. "Your instincts are sharp. Who are you?" Elsa would say, and she then licks her lips, looking at Naruto's intestines. Naruto would hold his hand over his gut, looking at Elsa and gulping, saying that he's not for her to eat or something like that, you know? Elsa would laugh, as then Naruto looks down, seeing an old man laying there with a club, as well as a little girl. That must be Felt. "What did you do to them?" Naruto would say quietly, as Elsa would laugh, saying she just did a little experimentation on their organs, if you know what I mean. Naruto would tell Emilia to stay back, as Naruto is now in a completely serious tone. Emilia would tell Naruto that she can support from behind while using her magical abilities. She would then begin to blast icicles towards Elsa. "Whoa, what kind of jutsu is that?" Naruto would turn around asking. "Jutsu?" This is what Emilia would be thinking when Naruto gets back to the fight. Elsa would try to recover her blade. She then swings it towards Naruto. Naruto would quickly pull a kunai out of his jacket as he cuts her blade, connecting it with the two. "That's an interesting weapon you've got there. I don't think I've ever seen one just like it before," Elsa would say, as she begins to get into more of a fight with Naruto. Naruto would jump onto the roof as he attaches to the top using chakra connection. "Oh, you have some sort of ability to stick to walls too. Very, very interesting. I wish I could see what your belly looks like." This is what Elsa says as she then leaps, using her intense physical strength. She's fast, Naruto would think, as he then pulls out the kunai and slashes, hitting her knife and cutting it out of her hand. The two would then get into a fist fight, as Naruto and Elsa are fighting on the wall, with Naruto throwing his fast punches and kicks at Elsa as he can. Elsa's dodging out of the way and trying to chop at Naruto, while Naruto and her are getting into an intense taijutsu battle. "Naruto, move out of the way, now!" Naruto would jump out of the way as Emilia shoots a massive icicle towards Elsa. Puck would now get involved to help boost Emilia's power, as he is a spirit, as he begins to attack Elsa more. Naruto is now getting serious into this fight, when then, suddenly Elsa says she'll just have to get the rabble out of the way, as she then turns towards Emilia. "You won't touch her," Naruto would say, as he then has a small flashback of earlier that day of all the things that he and Emilia had done together, and he's not going to let his new friend die. As she rushes towards Emilia, her blade is about to stab into Emilia herself. Naruto would jump in front of the way to block the blade to save Emilia and tell her to run. As the knife goes directly through Naruto, Naruto would begin to bleed out as his vision fades. I guess this is it, he'd think, as there was no Kurama going to save him this time. Suddenly Naruto would wake up as he's gasping for air. He would say, as he looks around, wondering what happened. I thought I was dead, he would think, when suddenly in front of him he sees the fruit salesman from before, asking if he was going to buy anything. What? No, I'm not going to buy anything. I already told you that. What do you mean you already told me that? You just got here, kid. Naruto would be shocked as he says, what? Naruto will look down to see that his ramen is still in his hand. No way, Naruto would be thinking as his eyes begin to shake. Looking around, he would realize that's earlier in the day. Where's Satella? By the way, Emilia told Naruto that her name was Satella just like she did Subaru, because I don't think she would change that just because he looks different. Anyway, Naruto would be looking for Satella, as he would then see her in the street, not having yet been mugged by the robbers or looking for Felt yet. Satella! As he then tries to talk to Emilia, Emilia would turn around in shock and asking why he would call her the Witch of Envy. What? Naruto would be thinking, as Emilia would walk away, looking more angry than before, as he'd never seen Emilia in a kind of mood like this. As he then continues looking around, trying to figure out what happened, he would then remember what happens at the shop house in the slums. I've got to get back to the trading area, he would think, as he then jumps up onto the roof, trying to run over there as fast as he can. I have to find that woman, and I can't let her touch Emilia or anyone else. If I can save them, then maybe I can... He would have flashbacks of seeing himself get stabbed, as well as seeing everyone on the floor. I need to save all of them, Naruto would think. As he would then get to the loot house, he would then open the door and walk inside, seeing Uncle Ram there, as well as Felt, who would be arriving soon. Naruto would have already catched over Felt, not having seen her, as he talks to Uncle Ram, telling him about his delicious meal of ramen, and telling him that he'd be looking for a rather small insignia for one of his friends. This is when Felt would come at the door, and Naruto would open it, recognizing her, as he says that she's alive in awe. Felt would ask what he means by that, with Naruto nodding and laughing, saying it's nothing. Naruto would then have this serious look in his face when he says he's going to go out for a while. As Naruto would then run into, as you already know, Elsa. As soon as Naruto says Elsa, he would tell her, cut the crap. I know what you're going to do. You're going to try and fight us again, aren't you? Elsa would ask as she licks her lips what he means. Naruto then cock his fist back as he tells her that he's going to take her down right here and now before she can kill anyone. I'm afraid I don't know what you mean. Suddenly, as Elsa was talking, Naruto shoves a Rasengan into her gut. Ugh! Elsa would cough up blood as she goes sent flying backwards, smashing into the side of a building. Naruto's getting serious now as he then gets into taijutsu and creates the stance. As he creates the jutsu, multi-shadow clone jutsu. Naruto creates several shadow clones that go running towards Elsa, as Elsa slices through them, saying this is a rather interesting magical technique he can use. Naruto would then grit his teeth, saying it's called chakra, as he then throws a fist, punching it towards Elsa. Elsa would take the punch to the face, as she goes flying backwards, her knife barely grazing Naruto's skin. What? She'd think, as she thought she'd sworn that she'd cut him open. Naruto was already healing, though, as Kurama's chakra was beginning to surround him from his rage. As we already know that Naruto's seal had been undone more by Jiraiya. As Naruto and Elsa's fight increase, Naruto begins to get more and more savage as he begins to tap into the Kyuubi's power. Damn it, he would think, as Naruto's about to tap into First Tail Kyuubi mode. What is this, she would think, as suddenly an orange cloak of chakra would cover Naruto. Naruto's much faster now and stronger as he punches through Elsa's knife, shattering it as he begins beating her. Damn it, she'd be thinking as she's coughing. As he finally finishes her off, Naruto, being a shinobi, would have no hesitation of killing Elsa, as she had already shown what kind of person she was to him before. Naruto, being a shinobi, is a lot less jumpy than Subaru, and as you already know, Naruto actually has killed people in the Naruto universe, so this wouldn't be that surprising. Elsa's big dead, for now. Anyway, as we see that Elsa has now been taken out, we then go back to see that Naruto would be walking back to the loot house, to where he would eventually see Emilia be there with Felt, arguing with her. Emilia would inevitably buy back her insignia from Felt, who was rather annoyed. Naruto would have taken Elsa's money off of her, and offers to pay for the insignia for her. You're that guy who called me Satella before. Naruto would nod and ask what her real name is. While Emilia is still grumpy about it, she would say that her real name is Emilia. Emilia? Naruto would say, as he commits it to memory. He would then ask Feld if he can buy that off of her, with Emilia looking shocked, saying that that she's buying that for herself. Naruto would hold his hands up, saying it's no problem, as he uses the money that Elsa had brought with to pay for the insignia, and take it, as he then plays, holding his eye down, holding his tongue out. Emilia would be annoyed, as he then holds up the insignia and gives it to her, saying it's a gift, and saying that he's sorry for calling her that before. And he also didn't know what the Witch of Envy really was, or what a witch is, to be fair. She would then laugh as she explains that what the Witch of Envy was, and would then talk about it in a more solemn tone, how being a half-elf was, well, people treated her differently. Naruto had a flashback to him as in his childhood, where the villagers made fun of him, and also treated him differently for being the host of the Kyuubi, a Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. I know exactly how you feel, Naruto would say, as his eyes become hollow with him remembering all those times on that goddamn swing. As Naruto would then look up at Emilia, saying that now he's got this, that now everyone's safe, what was she going to do now? She was saying that she'd head back to Roswell's, and that if he wanted to, he could come with her, as he had apparently, helped her out with this insignia business, and she wouldn't mind having company. Puck would introduce himself to Naruto for the first time, with Naruto greeting Puck as well. Puck and Naruto would become friends again, and they would head off to Roswell's mansion. Back at the street, we see that Elsa is barely alive, as she's twitching, hitting her fist in the ground, saying it's a promise that she's going to kill that kid for sure. As Naruto's making it back to the mansion of Emilia, this is when we see, in the carriage, Emilia begin to explain about a Lagunica to Naruto. As they get to Roswell's mansion in his area, Naruto would look out the window with awe as he tells Emilia that it's huge. She would laugh as she says this is the owners of this entire land's mansion after all. You live in a mansion, Naruto would say, with Emilia giggling, telling him that it's just temporarily and because she's Roswell's candidate to become the next ruler of Lagunica. You're going to become a ruler, he would think, as Naruto remembers and tells her about his dream. My dream is to become the Hokage of the Leaf Village, one of the great nations. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's from the land of fire. Somehow I was back there getting my ramen when now I was here, and I have no idea where I am, to be honest. The land of fire? She would say. I've never heard of that before, but you could probably head eastwards. There's many people there who have similar names to you. Naruto would thank her for the tip, as they then get out of the carriage, where we would then meet the two maids, Ram, as well as Rem. If you guys want to see the next part for What If Naruto was in ReZero, then make sure to hit the like button, comment down below what you thought, and subscribe to the channel for more. I'll see you guys later. Bye.